Okay, so the way GitHub works is that there's like a online repository on the server called the remote, and that's what has all of the files and everything, all the code and stuff inside of it. So that's all inside of here. And what I can do is I can like go on my computer, which is down here, and I can clone all of this to it. So that just means I download all of the code onto here, and then now I have a copy of it on my computer. And so I can make whatever changes to it, and I can add whatever I want to it. And then what I do is I commit those changes, and it'll send just the change back up onto the remote and add the change up there. So I can have the copy of the entire program or the entire like project on my computer and just change what I need to change. And when I commit those changes, it'll all only put the changes that I've made onto the remote. And then if I have another guy, if I have like my friend, and he also has the repository cloned, so he has his own copy of the stuff, then I can make a change, and he can also make a change on his computer. And then when we both commit our changes, if I have my change that I've made, it will actually merge his changes into it, so it'll still work together, and it'll basically try its best to include what both of us have put. So yeah, so that's how that works. And then also, there's another thing called branches, where this is kind of like the main branch here. But if I can make a separate branch, like say I'm trying to add an enemy, right? So this is the enemy branch, which is kind of like a copy of the repository that's also on the server. And so I can basically add all of my changes here, so I can put in the enemy and the code for it and the art for it all into this branch, and it won't appear on the remote or on the main branch. So that's because while I'm working on it, it probably won't work properly, and I'll probably have a bunch of errors and break a bunch of things until I get it to work. So no one will, if anyone's working on or looking at the main branch, they won't see all of the stuff that I have on this branch until I'm done with it. And then, so I can commit all these changes here that I'm working on my computer, and then I can do what's called a pull request to put all of the changes onto here. So I start a pull request, and the person who owns the repository can see everything and approve it, and then that will add all of the changes onto the main branch. Alright, now I'm going to show you guys how to actually use the repository that we have for the game. So what you're going to want to do is first get the Github Desktop app. Just look that up and download it, and also get a GitHub account. And open the app, and there will be a way to sign in with your account, so go do all that first. Then go to the repository link. That's in the programming channel, and I think in the announcement channel too. And that'll take you to here, this is our repository. Then go into this drop down menu that says code and hit open with GitHub Desktop. So this will give you the option to clone the repository to your computer, and you can choose the location and everything. I'm happy with where it is, so I'm just going to set clone, and it'll download everything. And if I go onto my documents where I put it, there it is right here on my computer. So now I'm going to make a branch. Let's say I want to make an enemy or something and add that here. So I'm going to make a new branch. This is the menu for branches, so you can do new branch, and I can do meta new enemies, right? Create that branch, and publish it. So now I can start adding changes. So changes are called commits in Git, and they can be changes to multiple different files. So I'm just going to do enemy. Let's just say that's my enemy. If I go back into here, it'll say one change, I added enemy.txt, and I can commit that to my branch. And then when you commit things, make sure you hit push origin. That will take all of the commits you've made and actually put them onto the server. So do that. And then back into here, I can add another, I can do enemy 2, and then I can also edit these files too, so I can just put whatever I want in there, and save that, and you can see all of the changes I make go into here, and I can just call it changes, and I can commit that to there. And then if I go into history, you can see all of the commits that have been made on this branch. So you can see these are all the commits that have been made for the whole project, plus these 2 that I've just made right now. So I'm going to push that second change, and now let's say I'm done with this. So I want to create a pull request to put this onto the main branch. So what I can do is hit create pull request, and you can give it whatever description you want or whatever name you want, and hit create pull request. So then I'll go look through all of the changes and make sure it doesn't break anything, and then I'll merge the pull request. So on my end, I just hit this button, and that will take all of the changes on that branch and put them into the project. So now if I go to code, you can see those enemies that I added there over here, and all the text is inside of it too. So yeah, that's all you have to do if you want to push changes to the repository.